Hello beer supers and welcome to yet another beer review with me here, the Mashup Puppets, again joined by
Dalton.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at a fairly new beer, at least to New Mexico, from Oskar Blues, and this is their Deviant Dales India Pale Ale. And yeah, you've had Oskar Blues before, right?
Yeah, just the old chub.
Which is a great Scotch ale.
It's really good.
Yeah, and this is basically Dale's Pale Ale, that the recipe they went with from there, and then turned it into an IPA, like a big IPA. I've had Dale's Pale Ale a couple of times. I haven't reviewed it. It's a solid Pale Ale. It's a pretty tasty Pale Ale. I don't know why I never got around to reviewing it. But yeah, it's in a nice big tall boy 16-ounce can compared to the small ones they usually bottle, and 8% alcohol. Says Colo Rad. Oh, and then the only info on there says sipping on a tall boy. Let's sing a little mud girl. And I have no idea what the hell that means. It's probably a reference to maybe a song. Who knows?
I'm not sure.
Sipping on a tall boy is definitely because it's a tall boy can. But let's get it cracked open and see how this is. So we got it poured. This is kind of a darker. Almost, it looks kind of like an amber ale.
Yeah, it's like a cross between like a gold yellow. And like an amber.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
It looks nice.
And like in your glass, you can see the yellow notes on the bottom.
Yeah,
it has that little
thins out there.
Yeah. One finger on mine, off-white head. Looks like a darker but pretty interesting IPA. So yeah, check out the aroma. This is much more like it's not as fruity. This is more on the dank, like piney side.
Definitely.
But I do get citrus and grapefruit though.
Yeah, definitely the grapefruit, some nice citrus. It's doesn't have a sweet hoppy smell. It's definitely like that resiny pine. Yeah,
resiny piney kind of aroma. It's not the biggest aroma though. It's not like really.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty mild, like for an IPA, you know.
Yeah, but a little bit of like a caramel, sweet maltiness to it too. Mm-hmm. Get a little bit of like an earthy or maybe like a tea leaf aroma to it.
Yeah.
Like
I can see that for sure.
Because sometimes hop smells kind of like tea leaves. It actually, do you know what? It actually,
smells pretty nice.
It's 420 today. Actually, do you know what it reminds me of?
It smells like weed.
I know, actually, seriously. It has that kind of same dank aroma to it.
Well, hops and weed are in the same family.
Yeah, it's same Gina. So, it's good taste.
Cheers. Cheers.
By the way, this is a single IPA, not a double, even though it's 8%. But yeah, cheers. Wow. Oh, it's got a lot of that dank stuff.
That is
completely different.
Completely different, like polar opposite.
Yeah.
It's hard to think it's even like IPA. Like
the
two that are in the same like
this seems
category.
like you usually West Coast and East Coast IPAs is what you say. East Coast are resiny, piney, usually citrusy. Some of them break the mold, like Southern Tier and Dogfish Head, and make more West Coast hoppy beers. West Coast are the grapefruit, citrus, bombs, real bitter. And then you have the Midwest, which is the one with the sweetness and stuff like we just had.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me more of the East Coast with some of the Midwest, because it does have like that sweetness.
It's got a nice sweet like after note from the malt.
Yeah.
It's not super bitter.
No.
It's got a nice bitterness.
Maybe a little bit of caramel too, but it has that kind of weed-like flavor.
Tastes like a lot like. Yeah. It's got a real earthy.
I do actually. Yeah, it's got like an oniony almost garlicky flavor, like real intense and earthy.
It's like it's sweet but it's kind of savory.
Yeah,
it's from the hop.
And it's funny, because speaking of savory, because it kind of gets your saliva starting. Yeah, when you drink it.
It's like a steak beer.
Yeah, that would be good with steak, I'm sure. With that resiny, piney flavor and the earthiness. It still has some of the grapefruit flavor, but it's not all the way in like the sweet citrus fruits and the tropical fruit and all that stuff. It's just like it's grapefruit and bitter grapefruit, and then just that kind of sweet maltiness in there, and a lot of it's pretty different.
Definitely, I haven't had an IPA that quite tastes like this one.
Yeah, well, you need to try 6 Point Resin. That's even more intense. That's like walking in a pine forest. Well, that's pretty good though. But this is pretty good. What grade would you give this?
I like it. It's super dank hop.
Yeah,
flavor. I'm gonna give this one an 85.
Yeah, I don't like this one as much either. I like it a little more than you, so I'm gonna go 87. But I prefer the real juicy West Coast IPAs too. So yeah, but it's still a pretty good beer. I mean, 85 and
still
87 is
tasty.
really good grades. So definitely worth picking up if you can get Dale's
check it
or
out.
Oscar Blues beers. Kind of on the more little expensive side. It was $4 for $14 for a 4-pack, which isn't like it's not cheap, but Oscar Blues beers are kind of so. I think at least it's tall boy cans.
Yeah.
But their 1050 is the same price. But this is a good beer, so definitely check it out and let us know what you think of this brew if you've had it. So always remember to comment, subscribe, and we're gonna say cheers.
Cheers.
We're gonna see you guys in another beer review.